those pictures that have been coming in. But right now, let's take you through the live pictures. Nilesh, over to you. The convoy making its way as far as when it comes to the crash site is also concerned. We're getting the pictures now coming in of the Prime Minister's convoy as well.
Getting treatment into this premises, and PM Modi has reached out along with CM of the state. You can see how PM Modi has reached out to the civil hospital, and you can see with his body language, he's not in a very great condition is what we can see. He's traumatized by the incident. His body language seems to be very low. He seems to be deeply affected by the unfortunate incident. In his tweet also, in his post also, he had mentioned that he is deeply saddened by the said incident, and which is why he has finally reached out to meet to the investigating agencies as well as the authorities who are currently on ground, trying to speak and understand what exactly went wrong and what exactly is the status of the various victims who have reached out at the hospital, who are currently getting treated at the hospital. So the head of the state, that is PM Modi, has reached the civil trauma hospital to speak to the patients who are currently getting treated. Now, maximum number of the patients who are currently getting treated are the one who have suffered serious burn injuries and are said to be under critical condition, are getting medical condition. Now, these are the individuals who were having their lunch into the BJ Medical Campus, that is in a near proximity area of the airport. That is the premises where the Boeing aircraft had the unfortunate fall, and it ultimately turned out into a massive fireball. What was reported by the Union Home Minister himself, that more than 1 lakh litre of ATF, that is air traffic fuel, was into the plane, and which has somewhat turned the whole incident into much bigger explosion. The visuals that we have been seeing are still into our minds, and it is a horrific visual that we had presented before our audience. Have been presenting every aspect of the incident. Now, what exactly led to the incident is still unclear. Various agencies are investigating all of those factors, but the fact remains that it is at the moment one of the biggest tragedy that aviation sector has ever come across. A successful plane like Boeing, massively advanced technology like Boeing is here. George, I'll request you to pan the camera over there. You can see how PM Modi has reached out to the third floor of the premises and is reaching out to meet to the victim. He is accompanied with the other state heads, that includes CM as well as the Speaker of the Assembly, who has reached a minute before Prime Minister, and now PM Modi is reaching out to speak to the victims. We also noticed his body language, and we noticed that he was seen to be very disturbed by the unfortunate incident. PM Modi, at multiple occasions, we have been seeing that how after such incidences is deeply affected by such tragedies, and which is why he himself reaches out to the ground to ascertain what exactly is happening and how could the head of the state be helpful towards the family, towards the investigation, and also sending a strong message that the head of the state stands in solidarity with all of those families who have lost their loved ones.
Absolutely. As far as Nilesh is giving us this description of the Prime Minister, the pictures that are now coming in right after inspecting the crash site, he has now made his way to the civil hospital, where right now as we speak, he is currently speaking with those who have been injured. And however, when it comes to how traumatizing the entire incident that has been and has taken place in his home state of Gujarat, the Prime Minister, accompanied by the Chief Minister and the State Home Minister as well, as he is making his way to the civil hospital as far as when it comes to the wards where the patients have been receiving treatment. But Nilesh, this is also the same hospital where the remains of those ill-fated flight passengers have also been kept, because that is where the DNA procedures and samples would be taking. However, that would be taking some time there. But let's go back to Arunil, because Arunil, exactly how much time did the Prime Minister spend at the inspection site and who all were present with him? Aruni?
Of 20
Yes,
minutes
please.
at the crash site. Who all exactly were inside? There were several investigative teams. FSL team was also inside, as well as basically Winston Campbell, the CEO of Air India, was inside. They basically briefed PM Modi about the ongoing situation inside as well. Now PM Modi is at the hospital. He's expected to meet the ailing patients as well, and also speak to the family members of the victims. PM Modi is also expected to take a high-level meeting after his visit to the hospital. Several teams related to Air India, as well as the rescue teams, as well as investigative teams that are on ground, will be part of the meeting, briefing PM Modi about what exactly may have gone wrong in this ill-fated Air India aircraft. Only within 50 seconds after taking off from the Ahmedabad airport, it has crashed here at the BJ Medical College. Around 100 students were having lunch there in the college mess, and basically the plane crashed on the other side of the camp, basically this building. Several casualties are being feared in this BJ Medical College as well. 75 students have been feared to have died because of this impact of the crash, and more injuries, serious injuries, are being suspected as well. Home Minister Amit Shah also mentioned about the fact that how fuel, which was more than 1.25 lakh liter, that was there in the aircraft, basically which would have enabled it to sustain for this long haul flight to London. Immediately it crashed and the explosion was uncontrollable. The rescue operations immediately swung into action, but they could not save many lives.
Pictures coming in of the Prime Minister there. He's accompanied by the State Chief Minister, the State Home Minister, also by the Union Civil Aviation Minister himself. Mr. Dabania is also connected with us right now. Mr. Dabania, we've been asking and speaking to the experts there. Of course, right now everything is speculative till the time the probe panels actually ascertain the cause of the crash.
I think what has happened is extremely tragic and sad, but it is very difficult to draw any conclusions at this stage as to what has happened. All indications point out that there was no power in the engines. Now, what is the cause of that is difficult to say. Some people are saying bird hit, some people are saying thrust, but I think it's some kind of mechanical technical failure, because the pilots seem to be very well qualified. The plane was very well maintained. It took off from Delhi to Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad, it was taking off again. So there must have been checks done when it took off from Delhi. There must have been checks done at Ahmedabad. The pilots were scrutinized. The pilots were very experienced. So I fail to understand what must have happened. Right now, whatever people are saying are just guesses. Till the black box and cockpit voice recorders is found, we won't be able to give the exact cause. I think Government of India is already on the job. The AIB Air Investigation Board has started its work. DGC also must have taken over the site and started their work. Boeing people have already flown from US, and the Boeing people in India must have gone to the site. The CEO of Air India, Mr. Campbell, is also there, and our Honorable Prime Minister is also there. And the Honorable Prime Minister already told the Civil Aviation Minister to be then assist in the investigation, do whatever possible to be of assistance with this. So
how widely, Mr. Dabania, is this aircraft used as far as for commercial purposes? Because if this tragedy that has happened here, this tragedy then could have happened anywhere in the world. And to the extent of which this tragedy that has been reported, of course, the exact number of people who have lost their lives is something that is not clear as of now, because there has been another collateral damage as far as when it comes to the buildings where it actually fell. But how safe exactly when we talk about Dreamliner that has now turned into a nightmare, especially for those families who have lost their loved ones?
This aircraft has had technical glitches in the past. There have been 7 incidents before this. But this kind of hull damage and this kind of total destruction of the aircraft and this kind of death has never occurred on this plane. It's a very advanced plane. It's technically up to the mark. It's flying all over the world. And it's made by Boeing. Boeing, of course, as you're aware, there are only 2 companies left in the world. in the commercial aircraft market, Boeing and Airbus. So Boeing is a reputed company. They've had their problems with the 737 MAX. But this level of serious problem with the 787 Dreamliner, this is the first time it has happened. Now, only after the investigation, the Boeing company and the FAA and the DGCA will decide what steps to take as far as this aircraft is concerned. So we'll just have to wait and watch as to what the situation and it comes out. Right now, Boeing has said they're not going to ground the 787 anywhere in the world. Till I think we know the exact reason, I don't think Boeing is going to take any steps to ground the fleet.
Well, of course, due inspection and thorough investigation is something that is necessary and would be taking place. We have seen that panels that have been set up, experts have been come in, not just across the country there, but from US and UK as well. In fact, when we speak of those passengers who have lost their lives, that included Indian nationals, that included British nationals, that included Portuguese nationals, and one Canadian national, what is being said in those passenger list. And of course, when we speak of the former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani himself, unfortunately, was also victim of this plane crash. He was going to London to meet his family. But right now, as we speak, pictures that are now coming in of the Prime Minister, as the Prime Minister who had first inspected when it comes to the crash site. Nilesh, coming back to you on that, where the Prime Minister is, you're reporting from that hospital itself. Of course, when the Prime Minister seems to be interacting with the survivors and the victims that we speak of this air crash, but this is also the same hospital where the mortal remains of those who passed away in this ill-fated tragedy that have also been kept.
Well, yes, absolutely. PM Modi just minutes back had arrived at the Civil Trauma Hospital, the hospital which is currently into the